This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the Ballsville podcast.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
What is up, Ballsville Nation? How are you on this fine Monday evening? As you can see, it is just myself, Sklem, here with you today. And as you probably also noticed, we had a little bit of a different intro today. That is because this is the special edition of the chopping block, the Ballsville Takeover. And you know why? Because tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and we're not going to do a Ballsville pod on Christmas Eve. We're all going to be busy eating or buying presents or all of the above. So we're going to do it all today. So I'm glad you guys are here to join us because it's going to be a fun one. All right, so let's get into things. First and foremost, I just want to talk about a little bit of the football weekend that we just witnessed. Is it just me, or did you guys notice how ridiculously high scoring this week was? I mean, I'm sitting here watching this week go down, especially after last week, which seemed to be, kind of a lower scoring week in general. But this week was just crazy. We had multiple players going nuts. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's out here running with the ball in his hand all the way down the tunnel because he's definitely not dropping it at the goal line again twice, right? This guy's breaking 2 80-yard touchdowns in a game for over 250 yards, I believe, rushing, which is just unbelievable. Like, and there you go. Yeah, you get the golf clap for that one, Jonathan. That was amazing, amazing game. So, and he wasn't the only one. And you had Saquon doing Saquon things once again, blowing it up in the first quarter for 100 yards in one quarter of football. I mean, if the guy had just done the same thing for 3 more quarters, we'd be talking about him already breaking Eric Dickerson's record. So it's ridiculous what the man was doing. I think if Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, which I will talk about here in a second, then he continues to go off and maybe breaks 200 in that game also. And then he's got legitimately a real chance to break that record. I think it's this point, he needs like 130 games over the next 2 games, which is absolutely doable for him. It's just not, I don't like to see you needing over 100 yards for 2 games in order to break the record. You would like him to have the opportunity to have like a 60-yard game and then a 130-yard game or something like that, and not need that full on 200 yards and plus to get to that point. But either way, I think he's still going to do it because that team is killing it. And as long as Hurts doesn't miss next week, then I don't see any reason why he's not going to come out and be the same Saquon he was in quarter 1. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on because, that's a long-standing record. It'd be fun to watch it break broken. So anyways, what's up, Cheeky? How you guys doing? We got Cheeky and Alex here in the pod audience, along with Trevor, who I'm a little bit irritated with right now because the man took away my only opportunity to make it to the last week of the Ballsville big game. Thank you, Trevor. You can leave now. Just kidding, man. Stick around. It'll be fun. Yeah, back to the games. So, Jalen Hurts getting hurt like he did. I mean, it's only a concussion. I shouldn't say only a concussion. It's a concussion. So the odds are, as long as it's not like any severity going on with him and he makes it through the protocols, he'll be back by next week. The Eagles definitely don't want him missing any time. They still want to hang on to that spot where they're at there in the 2 seed. And I definitely don't think that they want to worry about Jalen Hurts going into the playoffs either. So, it'll be interesting to watch. Without Jalen, looks like, Pickett came in, he did okay. He thought he played well enough. I wouldn't say that he's anybody that you have confidence in, but he can at least, hold down the fort in a situation where he has to come in mid-game. If they have to prepare for him all week and he's going to go in as a starter, that might have a different outcome as far as that's concerned. But got a great O-line. He's got Saquon, so it's easy just to lean on that if it needs to be the case. So that game was definitely one to watch. I mean, we can't talk about that game without talking about the performance that we had by Jaden Daniels and these cardiac commanders that we have running around here this year. I mean, how crazy is it? How many games have they had? Like, this has probably been the funnest team to watch throughout the season. Just the way that they've constantly come back from late game heroics and had these fluky type scenarios that have happened over and over again where they just continue to come out on the right side of it. It's really interesting and it's really fun to watch. Jaden Daniels definitely put on a show yesterday. he came out there and they started out a little sluggish and fell behind early, and he didn't let it get to him, and he just kept on chugging. And next thing you know, they're right back in that game, and he's driving down for a game-winning touchdown. So it's one of those scenarios that is like a maturing moment for a man like that. And it's the more I see of him, the more that it's easier and easier to separate him from those running quarterbacks that had good rookie seasons and then didn't, move on beyond that, a la RG3 type of scenarios. He's definitely a different quarterback than that. And I don't see any reason why he can't, continue to progress and be up there with like the Lamar Jacksons and stuff like that as we move forward. So I'm really excited to see the trajectory of his future and that team. Dan Quinn's a good coach. I think he learned a lot from that Super Bowl disaster, and I think that he was chomping at the bit to get back behind the wheel of a head coaching gig again. And now that he's making the most of it. They did a great job with the draft. Now that Dan Snyder's out of there, I don't think they'll have owner problems. So you might see that team coming back strong and being like a competitive team for a very long time now with the setup that they have going forward. So I'm excited about that. That whole side of the world over there, you've got, the Eagles, Dallas, if they can get whatever it is that they had last year back on track next season, will be up there with them. Now you've got the Commanders in there too. I mean, that division is not going to be an easy one to go in moving forward. So, the NFC East was always like the juggernaut when I was younger. They were the ones that were beating up on my Bills. All four of our Super Bowl losses were to teams in that division. So, I've always been used to that division being like a powerhouse, and they're kind of on their way back there. But a division that we have not been used to being a powerhouse across the board is the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings. Those three teams in that division right now could easily be considered, top five in the NFL if you wanted to argue it. I wouldn't sit there and like complain with you too much. Those teams are definitely solid teams. They're all in the same division. They're all gonna have to play each other twice a year. And these things are fun to watch, man. When you got these divisions like this that are heated, it definitely makes for a lot more fun. I mean, as a Bills fan, I've been watching my Bills beat up on our opponents for a while now, and not saying I don't appreciate it and I don't enjoy winning that trophy every year in the AFC East. It's definitely, more fun when you have a division that's competitive, and you also feel more confident that your team is battle proven when they go into a playoffs. So, if you win a division like that, then your team's ready to roll, baby. So that's there's a lot more to talk about football wise, but I don't want to spend too much time on that because we're at a point now with the Ballsville game and all the things that we're doing that we're coming up to a very important week here, and we have a lot of final scores and a lot of things to go over with you guys. So we're going to move on from too much football. If you guys want to talk about anybody specific, feel free to throw a name in the chat and I can throw it in and discuss it a little bit while we're moving forward. But I definitely want to cover some of this Ballsville stuff with you guys. So let's get into it, shall we? So let's start out. We're going to go ahead and pull up to start out with, since this is the Guillotine Pod, and it gives our good buddy Alex, who I should mention is in the background right now, working his butt off on updating all of these spreadsheets and making sure that what we look at today is as updated as possible. And I will remember to continually refresh my screen before I show you guys so that I don't make any mistakes on my end. So thank you, Alex, again, for everything that you do. Everybody in our group really appreciates it. And we all definitely understand how much work you put into this at this time of year, specifically with this and family and everything else that you got. It's really awesome that you're able to do this for all of us. So let me go ahead and get started with the first. I'm just going to run through the playoff scores for you guys in the Guillotine Leagues. It's not going to be a lot that we're going to talk about because I want to spend more time on breaking down how these things working out in the Ballsville game. So first and foremost, let's get going. We are going to start out today, guys, going over the Guillotine playoff breakdown for this week. All right. So what we have here going, guys, just a quick synopsis is we've got a 3-week scenario of total points going. So everybody's setting their rosters what they assume will be the best possible score scenario, and they are duking it out, and their scores are being tallied on this spreadsheet on our website for you guys. And this is where we're at after the first 2 weeks of our 3-week playoff scenario. So this is the scoreboard that we have available. It's available for you guys at theballsvillegame.com. I've been trying to update this for you guys at the end of the day Sunday so that you know kind of where you're sitting going into Monday's game and then finish things out for you on Monday. This week is going to be tricky because we have all these different games. I will do the best I can to keep things updated for you guys at the end of every game day. So by the end of Wednesday, I'll try to get some scores in there for you and so on and so forth. So as of right now, as you can see, we've got this color coded here so we can tell who's the best and who's the worst. From week one, you could tell that Trevor was our low scoring one in this one here. Team Tortoise only scored the 206.14. And then he followed that up because he liked being at the bottom so dang much, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's what it seems like because there he is right there again with a nice big red number of 197.72, the one and only squad not to break the 200 mark. So, if I sound a little bitter, it's because, Trevor beat me in another league and I really don't like him right now. So, yeah, I'm happy to see that he's in last place. That being said, Trevor is a good friend of mine. Merry Christmas and you and the family. You can see that the next score of the week was C-Bomb. He got 208.72. So C-Bomb is in the bronze box, which is the third place, as you can tell, is the same spot he was in last week, which does not bode well for his playoff or his championship opportunities going into the final week. At the top of the board, you had myself and TB76, who is in 2 leagues and did pretty well, ended up basically swapping from first to second over the first 2 weeks of these playoffs. So I scored a 251.98, which put me at second, which tells you how good he did this week since he beat me with a 289.76. So he definitely destroyed it this week. Funny thing in this league that I noticed, because since I'm the one that was duking it out with him, as I was putting these numbers in last night, it actually put us at almost 0.3 points of a difference of a total before Josh Jacobs went off tonight for him. So the fact that Josh Jacobs had the game he had, I should say the half he had, since they basically didn't need to play him the whole second half, he was able to pull ahead by over 20 points. So he's basically got a 20-point lead on me going into the finals. And I would honestly have to say, as much as I hate to eliminate people ahead of time, it would take a lot for both Trevor or Connor to catch us. They would have to have us break down completely and have them basically just blow up for the week in order to beat us. So I would have to kind of say tentatively that this is pretty much a 2-man race at this point, but it's a close one. So this league will definitely break down into something fun to keep an eye on. Next league that we'll go over the 18 heads in a duffel bag league. As you can see here, Trevor definitely brought himself back up from this time around because Todd wanted to, TB decided, you know what? I feel bad for him. I'm just going to go ahead and take that last spot this time around. So he went ahead and threw up a nice 201.28. He definitely kind of fell behind a little bit because he was second in standings before that week. So that does hurt his stock a bit. You've got the next one was Trevor, who we just talked about, who got a 229. So he kind of helped himself out, but since he was in first place or last place the first week, he definitely didn't give himself enough of a boost to, I would say, be competitive moving forward. It's not as far of a gap, but it's definitely a tough one to fill. He's looking at about 60 points, I believe, or 70 points there. So it's going to be a tough one. The next score we had was C-Bomb. He got himself a nice 239, which is a good score. It kept him up there towards the top. And, he's right up there with Jimmy Wojo, who got the high score of the week with a 289.7. He is actually 1 point, as you can see, actually a lot less than 1 point, almost just half a point or so away from C-Bomb. So this is a very, very close race right here, guys. This is going to be fun to keep an eye on. Those two are literally going to be just like chomping at the bit to see how this plays out with this league. Especially Connor, because even though he's in all 3, I believe this is the only one that he is even close to competitive in, if I'm not mistaken. So that is definitely one he wants to take down. If you can tell, as you can tell here, this is why he's not competitive. In the Braveheart, the third and final league that we're going to cover, he started out pretty decent. He got himself a nice, 235 to start the week, was still in third, but it was a good score. And then he ended up dropping all the way down to last with a 206 in this week. So he definitely hurt his stock a lot on this week. You could say the same for Spartan, who was right at 237 as the second place scorer last week. He dropped down to third place with a 214, also hurting his stock. And then our last place guy showed up big time with a 261.36, which normally would have jumped him right back into the mix. But this is Chiefs Life, the winner of the Shawnee for the best manager, because this is why he won. This is the team that he was able to build. And look at the two scores. He by far got first both weeks. He's got a 297 from one week and a 276 from this week. The man is already over 100 points ahead of the next closest person. So I would go out on a limb and say that this league is most likely locked up unless Chiefs' life entire team gets in a plane crash or something today. Not to wish that on anybody, but that's pretty much the only way that the rest of them have a chance. So congratulations to all you guys that are in the playoffs in these leagues. It is not easy to get in the playoffs in these leagues. You have to survive 14, eliminations all the way through to get to this point. So it's definitely not something for the faint of heart. That's why it's called guillotine leagues, because it will cut your head off. All right, so that is that. I want to go ahead and pull the screen so I can make sure that I refresh everything for you guys so it's nice and updated when we move into the next one. And what we're going to talk about now is I want to go ahead and touch base on the mid-stakes leagues for you guys. So what we're going to do on this one is the mid-stakes leagues for you guys, if you're not aware, they basically are in a position now where they're in a championship game, right? So the league is a little bit confusing for you guys, and I've had some questions, so I want to make sure that I kind of go over this with you a little bit, because the way that Sleeper has to for Sleeper to have it be set up the way we need it to be set up, it has to look like a 2-week final. But it is not technically a 2-week final for the champion. The champion is decided in week 16. Week 17 is the wagering process that you guys are deciding on. Okay, so we've talked about this wagering process multiple times, and I will go over it again for you guys a little bit here because I don't want you guys to be confused. I want to make sure everybody understands what they're doing here. So I'm going to pull up a league for you guys to look at and kind of give you an idea of where we're at. This is one of the high stakes leagues that I co-manage with Scott. So I have access to these leagues for you guys. And this one is one that I wanted to kind of use as an example to show you guys what we're doing here. Okay. So let me pull that up and we can start to go over our league. So as you guys can see, there is a post here pinned in the hub. We have opened up all these leagues for you guys. So you can go in the hubs, the redraft hub, and join any of the leagues if you want to see the potential rosters you might be wagering against to make your decision. You are welcome to do that. Just join the league. You can watch the league in the background. You can go check the championship game and the rosters and everything like that, and get an idea on what you're working with so that you make an educated decision on your wagering. Okay. So the way the wagers are going to work, I'm going to give you guys a quick synopsis of that, and then I'm going to use this league as an example. So there's two teams that are in the championship game. One of them has won the championship at the end of today. So the game ends today on Monday at 8, and that was the deciding time for our champion. Even though it shows 2 weeks, like I said, it is 1 week, and the champion has been decided. So what will happen is that champion will win $800, and the second place person will win $200. The champion has a choice to wager in 3 different tiers: a $200 tier, a $200 tier, and a $400 tier. So if they want to wager all 3 tiers, then they will wager their $800. This is high stakes wagering. Low stakes, mid stakes are going to have different amounts, but this is for high stakes. So there's 3 different wagers. They don't have to wager all 3. They could choose to wager, 1, 2 tiers, whatever they want to wager. You have to do it in order, but you can wager 1 or more, basically. The second place player will only have the option to wager in the tier 1 $200 wager. Okay, so that's the only pot that the second place person is eligible to wager in. The leader, like I said, will have that option to wager in all of them, or they both can decide to keep their money or whatever they want to do there. Okay, so that's kind of how that setup is for you guys. So if you're a champion in these leagues and you've won, we need to know by Wednesday if you want to wager your money, because it's very, very important that we get that before the start of the games. If we don't hear from you guys by the start of the games, then you're going to automatically just get your money cashed out and you won't have a chance to win the big pots. So definitely let us know if you want a chance at the big pots to what you want to do as far as your wagering. Okay. So to give you guys a quick example, as you can see, we have a championship game going on here. So this game right here, I don't know if you guys are able to see this too well or not, but it shows we had 2 players in this game. We had Zay 2403. This is League High 2, which is the Beast League. We had Zay 2403 was playing against Colin BLC. Colin BLC ended up scoring a 123, so he did not win. Zay ended up scoring a 168, so he won. So at this point, Colin, you can reach out to us and let us know if you want to wager your $200 or take it home. And Zay, you can let us know if you want to wager 2, 4, or 8. All right, you just let us know, and you guys can tag us in the league. You can tag us in the hub. Myself, Westlex, when Scott's back, Lose for Sale. Tag all 3 of us. We don't care. We just let us know. Okay, either the redraft hub or the league, whatever's easiest for you. So that's kind of give you guys an example of where we're at. So as you can tell in high 2, this is what happened with this league. So we now know in this league, and I'll just give you guys a quick run through on the rest of the high leagues because I have access to those since I am co-managing those. So in the high 4 league, you also had Zay 2403 battling it out with Cash 3. And it looks like this was a close call, guys. This one came down to the wire here. And it looks like Zay took it down with the 205-24. So Zay, that's your second league in the 2 that we've talked about. So you're 2 for 2 so far, man. Congratulations, brother. Cash, you also have the 200 like we talked about. Feel free to let us know if you want to wager that. In the high 5 league, these aren't in order, guys, because I'm in 3 leagues, so I have them separate on my screen. So we'll just have to scroll back to those here in a second. In the high 5 league, Nightcrawler, we had 28 Wizard King. He was duking it out with Mr. Ben doing this. And 28 Wizard King brought down a whopping 157.08. I know it doesn't sound great, but it was enough to take down Mr. Ben doing this at a 124.62. So it looks like 28 Wizard King is going to let us know on his wager for all 3 tiers, and Mr. Ben doing this has got 1 tier to decide on. So congratulations to both you guys for getting that far, and congratulations to you, Wizard King, for taking it down, man. I'm surprised to see the scoring so far. I would have assumed that these scores would have been higher based on how this week's played out, but this was a very competitive group of leagues, so it wasn't like there was a lot of talent on one team. A lot of these teams were spread out very evenly because there was very good drafters. Next league we're going to go over is Iceman. This is high 7. And we've got TDX Form, who's playing against Bada Bing 6611. And look at these 2 guys. He bopped down a 149, which he was probably concerned about, but Bada Bing did not quite get there. He was just the little engine that couldn't, because he was almost up there, but just couldn't quite catch him with a 139. So it looks like we got TDX Storm making his decision on 3 tiers, and Bada Bing gets to decide on his 1 tier. Congratulations to both you gentlemen. Next league we're going to talk about is everyone's favorite league, Deadpool, as Scott would like to say. Here's to you, Scott. Merry Christmas. This league we have Cutting 2022 against Sigma 1234, which is probably his code to unlock his phone, maybe. I'm not sure. This was a really close battle right here, guys. This came down to literally about 6.2 points, it looks like, 6.6 points. So this was a really close one here. You're looking at a 176.36 beating a 170.96. So this is a pretty dang close match. So unfortunately for Sigma, he didn't quite catch him. So he's going to be looking at the second place opportunity, and Ketting has the chance to go in all 3 tiers. Next league is going to be Mr. Sinister. This league we got Big Blue 079 versus Cash 3. It looks like Big Blue 079 took it down with another close. Man, these were all close. I told you these leagues were competitive, guys. Look at this. We had another close one here. This was less than 9 points here. We're looking at a 170.2 to a 161.8. So another close game. Congratulations to you two for putting on such a good show. Big Blue, you let us know when you can on all 3 tiers, and Cash let us know on the 1 tier. In high 10, we have Magneto League, Grizz Tony versus Twin Sanity. Looks like Twin Sanity was able to take this one down with a little bit higher of a margin than we've seen over the last couple leagues. It was about 20 points on this one. He beat it with the 162.34, taking down Grizz Tony's 142.5. So it definitely looks like Twin Sanity is going to be the one to make this decision. So Twin Sanity, when you get a chance, let us know. And congratulations to both you and Grizz for making it this far. Again, this is very competitive leagues. So anybody that can make it to this point in these leagues deserves some kudos. Definitely not easy. I mean, I was in 3 and I didn't even make it past the first round. So my Paper Tiger squad got beat. As you can see, here they are right here. So in this league, for some reason, it is not showing me the playoff bracket on the screen here, which is really frustrating considering that I'm in this league. But if I remember correctly, Ghostbusters and Ketting. So we are looking at right here, Mr. Ben doing this versus Heading 22, and it looks like Heading 22. And I feel like we had this matchup earlier, didn't we, in another league? So maybe these two had two battles. That's pretty cool. They were playing each other twice. That's pretty fun. The 160.7 beat up on the 147.76. So it looks like that is what is going down in the town on this one, guys. And let me see if this lets me see the bracket. Oh, look, there it is, guys. How awesome is this? I just found a new button on Sleeper. So here it is, Mr. Ben doing this versus Heading 22. Heading, let us know on the 3 tiers. Mr. Ben, you got another opportunity to go into tier 2 or tier 1. I'm sorry. All right, and then let's look at high 3 here. And now that I found my handy dandy, which okay, I have no idea why that did that for me, but I'll take it. So in this one here, we've got Thrill Kill versus Chiefs Life 13. So looks like Thrill Kill really ran away with this one, almost 35 points or so. So good job, Thrill Kill. He's got 178.72, beat up on Chiefs Life 13 with 142.72. So let us know, Thrill Kill, when you can, brother, and Chiefs, you as well on the 1 tier. Congratulations to you, gentlemen. And then here, see, does anybody understand why that happened? I don't, but it's okay. We're going to keep moving forward because Sleeper likes to do Sleeper things. This one was JoJo versus Love John. A couple of our regulars duking it out. And look at that. JoJo just decided to take the day off, I guess. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe his players were out shopping for Christmas presents or something, but they definitely did not help him out very much this week at all. So poor JoJo got beat up pretty good with a 127.02 versus Love John's 178.9. So Love John, let us know when you can, my friend. And JoJo, congratulations on your second place, my friend. Let us know on your 1 tier potential. And that is the coverage of the high stakes leagues. I'm not going to go through and run you guys through the mids or lows because I personally do not have access as the manager to those leagues like I do with the high leagues. And they are being updated by your managers. So keep an eye out in your leagues, guys. As I said, all the leagues are open, though. So you are welcome to go into the redraft and enter into all the other leagues that you currently are not in if you want to check out rosters, okay? So any more questions on that stuff, guys, feel free to let me know. If you have a question in the chat, feel free to post it. Either one, I'm here to help you guys for the next few minutes here while we talk about the big game. This is one of those ones that took me a little bit of, kind of running through it a few times to get it through my head. So if this helped you guys, I hope it did. And, if you need anything else, let us know and make sure you do it quick because we've only got a couple days here to get this figured out for you guys. So on the big game, get you guys caught up on the big game. So what we were doing with the big game is everybody, last week we announced all the winners of the big game and who won for each league. So the way it works is there's multiple divisions and there's 8 leagues in each division. This year we had 12. So we had 12 divisions with 8 leagues and every league had a winner. By week 15, they had a winner decided and they were all given the opportunity to take their 2 coins, $25 coins that they won for winning the league, and they could wager both the coins or one of the coins into this week and next week's potential championship. So if you wagered into this week, then you were eligible to play for basically what is the division champion. So you're playing against the other teams that decided to wager in the division, all of the other 8 leagues potentially. So you could be anywhere from 1 out of 8 all the way down to whoever decides to wager. I think we had one that only had like 3 people that wagered. So that was only 3 teams duking it out for that division. So however it played out, it's all listed on the scoreboard, which I'm going to pull up for you guys here soon. And then you would basically have the opportunity to win that division. So what we're going to talk about today is the division winners. And then what's going to happen for them is that they are going to have the opportunity to take the money that they won by taking out the division and utilizing that money to wager into a overall Ballsville champion week 17 against only other division winners. So there can be only a maximum of 12 teams that could be in this duke out here for the final week. Okay, guys, only division winners. So that's where we're at now. And they basically won based on how much was wagered. This is all going to make a lot more sense when I pull up the screen. So you know what? As a matter of fact, why don't I just go ahead and do that for you guys now so that I can explain it while we're looking at it, right? Isn't that going to be easier for you? I think it would. It'd be easier for me if I was in your guys' boat. So I'm going to go ahead and make that happen for you because I always want you guys to feel like I do everything I can for you because that's what I do. So here we are. We are looking at this screen. Let me pull this up for you guys here. Give me just 2 seconds to get it on the screen for you. There it is. Bam. So this is our breakdown of your different division, right? So as you can see, we talked about how there was 8 leagues in each division, and then in the top league, we only had 5 divisions that joined. No problem. So out of the or 5 leagues out of that division. So out of those 5, now you have a 1 in 5 shot of winning the division based on how you did. And so as you can see, if we look over here, we've got our divisions, our actual league winners listed here, and then this is the scores that they received this week. This has been updated. Alex was working on this for you guys over the last few minutes feverishly after the game ended to make sure that all of this was updated to current. And I refreshed my screen this time, so I know it's refreshed and current on my side. The C Sims 52 was the winner of League Two, and Balls Lannister, he was ended up with a 199. So that's where they kind of got that score from. And then as you can see, the red X next to him, it shows the basically that he did not win that division. So as you scroll through here, you guys can see there's a little gold symbol here for the division winner, along with the amount that they won based on the entries. So as you can see, there's a total here. What that total is based on is all of these different wagers that are included in this. Okay, guys. So basically, all these wagers added up to 250, and then this gentleman, Farrell from Balls of House Martle in League 6, who took down Division 1, is going to have the opportunity to wager up to that 250 into the major championship pot of next week. Same thing for D2. As you can see, we had looks like we had 6 competitors in D2, which is why this one has an extra $30 on here. Or $50, I'm sorry, for 300 total. And as you can see in this one, M Toast took this one down with a really good score at 255. This was one of the leagues I actually thought I had a shot until Josh Jacobs stepped up. But he took that one down for 300. So good job there, M Toast. Let us know, guys, for sure on your wagers, because again, this all has to be done before the end of the Wednesday or before the beginning of games Wednesday. So we need to have these, answers from you guys here ASAP on how much you want to wager into week 17 and if you're going to. So the next one up, we had Division 3. It was Balls of Fire. This was C Sims 52, took it down with a 216. Again, another one I just barely got beat in. Thought that I had it locked down until Jacobs took the field. And then there's $300 there for him. So that's another good one. I'm sorry, that should actually be $200 here. It's just a little bit of a miss up. It might be because the sheet been updated since I start talking maybe, but it will be updated. This is actually it's supposed to be $200 here, guys. So that's basically what he'll have available to wager. So the next one up, you've got this one here was $100 and $50 in a side pot. The reason there's a side pot, as you guys can see, is there's 4 different people that wagered, but 2 of them decided to only wager one of their $25 coins, which means that they are only eligible for a side pot. They are not eligible to win the actual main pot here, guys. So you got your champion who took down the main pot with 100, and then the second place guy took down the side pot with 208 because everybody entered in the side pot. These 2 were only eligible for the side pot. So that's why you see the 2 different side pots here, guys. Same thing in this league. We had 2 side pots here. It looks like our winner was Trevor. Again, another one that I was second place scorer. And I had a lot of second places in this, guys. I didn't win a single one. So I'm not going to get to compete with you guys in week 17. I know it sucks. I know you guys are really sad about it. But, hey, I'll be okay. I'm still alive in some other leagues. So, I can at least hang my hat on those ones. The next one up we've got here, this one is Division 6, and it looks like in this division, we had Sarah M taking it down with a good score of 232. She gets a nice pot of 225 because she was in both pots and had the highest score total, so she took it all down. So good for you, Sarah. Next one up, we've got D7. This is one where everybody only wagered 1 coin. So they have a $100 pot here, and that went to Alex. So Alex, our fearless leader, decided to go ahead and just throw 1 coin in because he's not quite as fearless as we like to say, and ended up taking it down. So I guess he wishes he would have put in the second coin now, but I guess since nobody else did, it doesn't matter. The next one is Division 8, and this one we got to take down by John Legs. Took down this pot with a nice 231, and then Connor took down the side pot with a nice 229. So good job there, guys. Way to go. On this one here, next one up, we got D9. This is only the 3-man. So we talked about this one, only had 3 men, and Connor only decided to wager 1. He didn't go full on Ballsville, just with halfway. So he ended up losing those. So I guess it worked out for him, saving $25 since JJ Mode knocked it all out with a nice 227. Good job, JJ. Next one up, you've got a nice amount of pots. You got six people competing in this one, and it looks like our winner was Crows 24, who beat himself twice and then three other people for a nice 229 with a good 250 pot. And I do like the way he did that, guys. So some of you are probably going, why would he enter in all three of them if he won all three of them and they're in the same division? My thought is that he has a 50-50 shot now of winning that division, and the big money comes in next week. So this is what he was trying to make sure is that he got into the following week, and it succeeded. So, and it's obviously the best of the three teams. So now he doesn't have to worry about picking one either. So good job, dude. I like what you did there. Next one up we got is Division 11. So you're looking at good five competitors in that one, but every single one of them was halfway balls in. So they only got 125 total out of that pot. And it looks like C-Bomb took it down on that one. So Connor had a couple of good teams. This one didn't even break 200 out of any of those squads, which maybe explains why they were a little tentative with their second point. So that one was definitely one that Connor took down with a score that's lower than most. The final league that we had was Division 12, and this one was taken down by Zoobsies. Our good buddy Zoobsies gets the win. Good job, Zoobs. And then we've got JM Hubs with the 217 taking down the side pot. So look at that, guys. So every one of you guys that I just mentioned here, please get in there and let us know ASAP on what you're going to do for next week so that we can get everything ready for you guys. Alex has a really pretty spreadsheet that he's chomping at the bit to get updated. So let us know ASAP and we'll get these things going for you guys. And you'll be able to see that spreadsheet and watch that as we walk through next week. So I'm definitely excited, guys. This is something that, always every year, last year we went through this and I was actually able to get into week 17 last year. And, this is like the culmination of everything. We spend months during the draft times going back and forth, talking about how great our teams are, how well we drafted and how we're taking this down and, how everything is so amazing and awesome. And then we come down to this week and you look at your teams and you're like, man, this team was good, or man, I was so right, or man, I need to keep my head down and keep quiet because they're going to make fun of me. So it's definitely a really like fun time to kind of see these things all come, to fruition and figure out exactly where we're going to fall and all of this. So that final week is going to be a lot of fun, even if you're not in it, guys. If you haven't done this before, if this is your first season, make sure you get in there and at least eyeball the spreadsheet. We'll have it up here on the site for you guys and verify, that the way it works and make sure you got a full understanding of it. So next season that you can go in here and be ready to roll and know kind of how it all plays out. It'll help you be prepared more and it'll really help you understand these breakdowns because it does take a little bit of like kind of going through them to really get how they work. Each one of them is different. The big game, redraft, dynasty, they all have a different aspect to them. We've talked about, and we probably will next year include some sort of a breakdown for the guillotine leagues. Instead of having a standard playoff like we've done this year, we'll do some sort of a, playoff similar to the Ballsville where we can kind of incorporate all leagues into one final breakdown like this. It's going to be something that we're going over along with the introduction of the new triathlon game and the updates to the website. And hopefully by, sometime around March next year, all of this stuff will be ready for you guys and we can start talking about it because it's really, really exciting. But this is where we're at with this season, guys. The redraft low leagues, the redraft mid leagues, you guys definitely go on there and check out your other teams. We're not going to be here tomorrow. We talked about that. It's Christmas Eve. So, none of us are really going to have the time to sit down and go over this with you guys as much as we like doing this. We're all obligated to do family things on Christmas, right? So, I mean, at least we get some good eggnog out of it. But we're definitely going to be back for you guys here after the holiday. And then, moving into week 18, Friday next week, I believe we're still on schedule for Friday's pod. And I believe that Scott is back for that pod. So that one we'll be able to really go through how things are going. And, we'll be looking at, the beginning of next week already. We'll have multiple games that have been played and there'll be scoring going on and there'll be some things to talk about. So it's going to be a good time. We're really, really excited and we really appreciate all you guys playing in these games. And anybody who's not still playing, please come back next year and tell your friends so they can tell two friends and we can Wayne's World the crap out of this and grow it up like crazy. All right. The more the merrier in the Ballsville, because that means the bigger the pots, right? That's how we love it. So basically, yeah, that's all we kind of had planned for you guys today. We're gonna also cover Dynasty a little bit later. We might throw up a nice little kind of just video in those threads for you guys to kind of go over that one. We got to make sure everything's up to date on all that too, and we didn't have time to get through all that before this episode started. So we will definitely be looking into some updates for you guys on those too soon, though. So don't fret, Dynasty players. You guys are still part of our leagues, and we still love you. You'll still be included. Don't worry. So, yeah, other than that, guys, I feel like, you guys have listened to me for long enough. I know this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but since it's just me talking, I don't want to bore you guys with my annoying voice for too long. So I got you guys through everything that I know that you guys needed to find out for today. And if there's any more questions, like I said, you know how to get a hold of us. You can DM me on Discord. You can DM me on Sleeper. Alex is always available too. And then when Ludes is back from his cruise, he'll be there for us too. So you got him, you got me, you got Zoobs, you got C-Bomb, you got JoJo. I mean, a lot of these guys that are here have been with us for a while that kind of understand how things are working and are part of our middle management per se. So they definitely have a good understanding of all this stuff. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate you guys for being here. Merry Christmas to you guys and your family. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. We'll be back before New Year's, so I won't go as far as saying Happy New Year's yet. That one will be on the next episode. So we'll definitely bring that one up though too, because maybe we'll do some sort of a crazy New Year episode. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But we really appreciate everything from you guys. Have all the fun that you can have with your family. I joked earlier, but it is actually a lot of fun, and I do really love to be hanging out with my family and going to all these fun little gatherings and seeing everybody. If you guys are anything like us, we have like kind of a gigantic gathering and just enjoy each other's company with very informal kind of approach. So I always have a lot of fun at these things, and I'm really looking forward to it. So the shopping, I'm not looking forward to. Newsflash, guys, I have a whole lot of shopping left to do, and we are doing our stuff tomorrow. So yeah, think about that. I'm going to be Christmas Eve shopper, one of those guys. Yeah, that's going to be me. So yeah, I got a lot of fun tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to the first beer after all that's done, and I get to sit down and say hi to the fam. So you guys have a great week and enjoy the rest of your holiday and everything with the fam. Again, thank you guys for joining us. On behalf of myself, Alex, Scott, Zoobs, Connor, JoJo, Tortoise, all of us here at Ballsville that are constantly working. Cheeky, you're part of the group too. You're here with us. Francis, you're in here too. All of you guys, everybody here, happy holidays. We love you guys. Have a great one, and we will see you soon.